Data and AI are changing everything. But with so much noise out there, it's tough to know what actually matters. Welcome to Decoding Data and AI with Debbie, where we skip the buzzwords and get straight to the good stuff. From security and governance to real-world use cases, Debbie chats with Microsoft insiders and data pros to break it all down in plain English. In this episode, we're unpacking Microsoft Fabric Link, exploring how it simplifies data integration, empowers analytics, and drives better collaboration.
Hey, good morning, Rob.
Hey, Debbie.
So today I'm going to grill you on Fabric Link. And we're talking quite a lot about Fabric Link to our clients, and I thought I'd get some of your insight into what it is. So it's relatively new, right? This thing called Fabric Link.
It is relatively new to D365, yeah.
Is it a product that's just for D365? Is it built just for people who have got Dataverse data, or is that the intent?
So it's targeted for anyone with data and Dynamics. So data within a Dynamics application like finance and supply chain management, field service, or CE, as well as any data that you maybe store through a Power App or something else in the database. It can expose all of that data through to Fabric.
Okay, I think that list adds BC too. I believe that the BC data is held in database as well. So Fabric Link, so what does it do? It's a pipeline of some sort?
It's essentially sort of a way that data is mirrored or exposed through to the Fabric data lake. So you're not replicating data so much as you may have in older solutions. It's not a multi-step process where you're moving data. It's just exposing the data through the Fabric application or service directly through to the database.
So just a few sort of background questions to it. It's relatively new. What would have clients done before? What are they replacing when they're bringing in Fabric Link?
So looking back at the journey for finance and supply chain specifically, we started off with BYOD, which was bring your own database. And that was a solution that let you export your data periodically to your own Azure SQL database. So you paid for that on your Azure subscription, you managed that yourself.
Uh-huh.
A few years after that, Microsoft introduced export to data lake. So that was similar again in that you could bring your own data lake. You could configure the tables that you exported, and you fully manage that solution yourself. Fabric Link is sort of an evolution. Fabric Link and Synapse Link are essentially evolutions of that export to data lake, which is now deprecated. And Fabric Link at least greatly simplifies that process. So it makes that a lot easier to get started with, a lot easier to manage. And then Synapse Link, conversely, is a little more complicated of a solution, but it's better for organizations who maybe aren't looking at using Fabric as their primary data analytics platform.
So someone who knows a lot more about this than I do, I had heard say that historically with Synapse Link, where people were using Synapse Link, that was a reasonably expensive option because it required something called Spark, which was effectively transferring that data into a Parquet format, which was a format that's more native for data lakes. Am I right in understanding that Fabric Link sort of includes that Spark technology embedded, and so people don't have to pay for it? Is that right?
It does. So one of the nice things about Fabric is it is a predictable cost. So you sign up for a SKU, which essentially is a compute capacity size, and you can figure out that SKU based on your amount of data that you're moving or the number of reports that you're running. And then you can increase and decrease that SKU as you grow. But Synapse Link kind of lets you build your own solution, but it is not a predictable cost. So if you have a large transaction volume month, for example, your Spark cost might be significantly higher than you're expecting. So Synapse Link rather is maybe more powerful, but it can also be far more unpredictable in terms of cost.
So what sort of organizations, what sort of data, what sort of approach, how would an organization work out whether or not they should be considering the Synapse Link Spark combo versus a Fabric Link? I mean, from what it sounds like to me, Fabric Link's the more simple option, and it is the one that's sort of like plug and play. Is that pretty much it?
That's fair. So I think organizations who don't have a well-established data and analytics strategy, Fabric's a really easy way to get started. It's easy to configure and manage. The cost is predictable. And there are a lot of features within Fabric that you can use over time. So you don't have to use everything on day one. You could just start off with some simple Power BI reports and analytics. You can add machine learning, AI capabilities, all sorts of other things over time. If you have an established data analytics capability, maybe with another platform, Snowflake or something else, then Synapse Link maybe is the better way to go. You can extract the data from Dynamics into those Parquet formats, and then use other ETL tools to move that data to your reporting and analytics platform.
What's the difference between Fabric Link and Fabric? Fabric, I understand, is a platform for data management, right?
Yeah.
Fabric Link, just a little connector between the Dataverse and Fabric itself.
Essentially, you can think of it as the gateway that connects data from Dataverse or Dynamics through to Fabric, so it can be consumed within those Fabric services.
Okay. So can you use Fabric Link without buying Fabric?
No,
Okay.
you would need to have Fabric in order for Fabric Link to be useful. If you don't own Fabric, you'd be looking at Synapse Link.
Okay. All right. Got you. And then back to the costing of this, the Fabric itself is based on the usage of Azure. And that's the SKU you're talking about that will be managed as part of that Azure subscription. Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So just to wrap up, because we're really good at getting all the right information out really quickly. What are some of the limitations that stand at the moment? I understand, from what I heard when it first came out, Fabric Link meant, it took an hour for data. It wasn't real time. You were waiting for something to happen, for data to feed through. Tell me a little bit about that, and then any other limitations that you are aware of with regard to the use of Fabric Link.
Sure. So right now there is about an hour delay in terms of getting that data out of finance and supply chain through to the database and through Fabric Link. Microsoft are working on that. I believe in private preview right now, there's a 15-minute refresh.
Right.
And we expect Microsoft to further reduce that delay in the future. The other con with Fabric would be that it consumes Dataverse storage. So Dynamics clients receive an allocation of Dataverse storage based on the Dynamics licensing that they own. And not all clients perhaps will have enough Dataverse storage out of the box for their reporting needs if they go down this path. So they may need to purchase additional Dataverse storage.
Okay, but really, is there any other option? I mean, from at the moment, we're looking at that Dataverse building and building over time. I don't understand that there's really some on the market part of the parcel ways of actually reducing that storage, other than being judicious about what you store in your data tables.
Yeah, so certainly maintaining your data judiciously, running cleanup routines, archiving routines, things like that will help. If you're wanting to use Fabric, there really isn't any avoiding that Dataverse storage. Your other option would be to look at Synapse and then offload that to a different storage mechanism, but then you have maybe a little bit more of the Azure cost. Yeah, so it's weighing up the two.
Fabulous. Anything else to add, Rob? I think we've done a pretty good shot at doing a summary on Fabric Link.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good intro.
All right. Thanks again for your time, Rob.
Cool. Thanks.
Thanks for watching. If you're curious how Fabric Link could work for your business, or if you're thinking about making the switch from Synapse Link, shoot us a note at info@sikich.com. Stay tuned for more interviews that break down the buzzwords and get real about what's possible with data and AI. And if you're ready to take the next step, visit Sikich.com to explore our tailored AI workshops and consulting services. See you next time.